Hello everyone, welcome back to Choker Creative's Website Wednesday. My name is Bryce, website strategist and founder of Choker Creative. And today we're going to talk about unique UI UX design strategies and how they can help create a more engaging user experience on your website. As entrepreneurs and small business owners, it's important to stand out from the crowd and communicate your brand effectively to your audience. In this video, we'll share 4 unique strategies that will help you do just that. Let's jump right in. The first strategy that we're looking at is button color and placement. When it comes to designing an effective website, button color and placement are 2 of the most important factors to consider. These small details can have a huge impact on your website's user experience and ultimately determine whether or not a user takes the desired action. Choosing the right colors for your button is essential for making them stand out and drawing the user's eye. One popular strategy is to use bright, contrasting colors for your call to action buttons. For example, if your website color scheme is primarily blue, consider using a bright orange or yellow for the call to action button. This can help draw attention to the button and encourage a user to take action. In addition to choosing the right color, it's important to consider the placement of these buttons. Placing your buttons in a consistent, easy to find location can make your website more intuitive and user-friendly. For example, placing your call to action button in the upper right-hand corner of your page is a common strategy because it is a highly visible location that is easy for users to find. However, it's also important to consider the context of the page and the user's goals when deciding where to place your buttons. If you're selling a product, placing the Add to Cart button directly below the product description may be more effective than placing it in the standard location. Another strategy to consider is using negative space to make your button stand out. By surrounding your button with white space or a contrasting color, you can draw the user's eye and make the button more noticeable. Strategy number 2 for the day is font size rules. Choosing the right font size and spacing is critical for creating a website that is easy to read and understood. When it comes to the font size, it's important to strike a balance between legibility and aesthetic appeal. A font that is too small can be difficult to read, while a font that is too large can be overwhelming and distracting. To choose the right font size for your website, consider your audience and their needs. If your website caters to an older demographic, larger fonts may be more approachable. Similarly, if your website contains a lot of text, smaller font sizes may be necessary to accommodate the amount of content. In addition to font size, it's important to consider font spacing, also known as kerning. When fonts are spaced too closely together, they can be difficult to read, while too much spacing can make text appear disjointed and awkward. One popular rule of thumb is to aim for a line height that is 1.5 times the size of the font. That can help ensure the text is easy to read and doesn't feel cramped or crowded. Another important consideration is consistency. Using consistent font sizes and spacing throughout your website can help create a cohesive and professional look. This can help reinforce your brand's identity and make your website more memorable and effective. When selecting fonts for your website, it's important to choose fonts that are legible and easy to read. Sans serif fonts are typically easier to read on screens than serif fonts and are often used for body text. However, serif fonts can be effective for headlines and titles as they are more decorative and can add visual interest to your website. Strategy number 3 today is visual hierarchy and contrast. Visual hierarchy and contrast are essential tools for creating an effective and engaging website. By using contrasting colors, font sizes, and placement, you can create a clear hierarchy that makes it easy for users to navigate your website and find the information that they need. One important aspect of visual hierarchy is size. Larger elements tend to be perceived as more important, while smaller elements are perceived as less important. By using larger font sizes and placing important elements in larger sections of your website, you can create a clear visual hierarchy that guides users through your website and draws their attention to the most important elements. In addition to size and contrast, we also have placement. By placing important elements in prominent locations on your website, such as the top of the page or the center of the screen, you can draw users' attention to those elements and make them more likely to take action. Our final strategy for the day is consistent visual language. Creating a consistent visual language across your website is essential for communicating your brand effectively to your audience. Typography, imagery, and other design elements that are used throughout your website. By using a consistent visual language, you can create a cohesive and professional look that reinforces your brand identity and builds trust with your audience. One aspect of creating a consistent visual language is the use of color. Your color palette should be consistent across your website and should reflect the overall aesthetic and mood of your brand. Using consistent colors can help create a recognizable brand identity and make your website more memorable and effective. Typography can convey your brand's personality and voice. For example, a fun and playful brand might use a handwritten font or a more whimsical typeface, while a serious and professional brand might opt for a classic sans serif or modern serif font. And the words on your website is another key element of visual language that can help impact your brand's voice and personality. By choosing the right words and tone, you can create a strong brand identity that resonates with your audience. Images are a crucial component for your website design, and they can play a powerful role in evoking emotions and creating relatable connections with your target audience. By choosing images that reflect your audience's interests, needs, and aspirations, you can create a more personal and engaging experience that resonates with users. When selecting images, it's important to consider the emotions that you want to evoke. For example, if you're promoting a product or service that makes people feel happy and cheerful, you might want to choose images that have people laughing and having fun. On the other hand, if your product or service is more serious, you might want more images that convey a sense of professionalism and competence. All right, well, that wraps up today's video. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Website Wednesday. We hope that these unique UI/UX design strategies have inspired you to take your website to the next level. As entrepreneurs and small business owners, it's important to stand out in a crowded online space, and having an effective website is a key part of that. By applying these design strategies, you can create a website that is both visually appealing and user-friendly, and that effectively communicates your brand's identity and achieves your business goals. Don't forget to test and optimize your design to ensure that it's tailored towards your audience and meets your objectives. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week on Website Wednesday.